देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Hare Krishna. Today we start Srimad Bhagavatam, continuing first chapter, canto first, chapter 15. The Pandavas retire timely. Shloka number 39 and 40. Mathurāyam tatha vrajam
मथुरायां तथा व्रजम्
शूरसेनापतिं ततः
शूरसेनपतिं ततः
प्राजापत्यं निरूप्य
प्र-
निरूप्येष्टिम्
प्राजापत्यां निरूप्यष्टिम्
अग्निना पिबत ईश्वरः
अग्नेन पीबत ईश्वरः
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वम्
दुकूलवलय आदिकं
वलय आदिकम्
निर्ममः निरङ्कारः
निर्मम निरहङ्कारः
सच्छिन्न अशेषबन्धनः
तच्छिन्न अशेषबन्धनः
मथुरायां तथा व्रजं
मथुरायां तथा वज्रम्
शूरसेनपतिं ततः
शूरसेनपतिं तथा
प्राजापत्यां निरूप्य इष्टिं निरूप्येष्टिम्
प्राजापत्यां निरूप्य इष्टिम्
अग्निना पिबत ईश्वरः
अग्निन अपिबत ईश्वरः
अपिबत नहीं, अग्निना पिबत पिबत विसृज्य तत्र सत्सर्वं
विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं
लयादिकं
दुकुलवलय आदिकम्
निर्ममः निरङ्कारः
निर्मम निरहङ्कारः
सच्छिन्न अशेषबन्धनः
सञ्छिन्न अशेषबन्धनः
मथुरायां तथा व्रजं शूरसेनपतिं ततः प्राजापत्यां निरुपेष्टिम् अग्निन अपिबत ईश्वरः विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं तु कुलवलयादिकं निर्मम निरङ्कारः सच्चिन्न अशेषबन्धनः. हरे कृष्ण.
मथुरायां तथा वज्रं शूरसेनपतिं ततः प्राजापत्यानिरूप्य इष्टम् अग्निन अपिबत ईश्वरः विसृज्य तत्र तत्सर्वं दुकुलवलय आदिकं निर्मम निरहङ्कारः सञ्छिन्नः अशेषबन्धनः.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Kṛṣṇa, at Mathura as the king of Śūrasena. Afterwards, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira performed a Prājāpatya sacrifice and placed in himself the fire for quitting household life. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira at once relinquished all his garments, belt, and ornaments of the royal order and became completely disinterested and unattached to everything. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira, after placing Maharaj Parikshit on the imperial throne of Hastinapur and after posting Vajra, the great grandson of Lord Kṛṣṇa, as the king of Mathura, accepted the renounced order of life. The system of four orders of life and four castes in terms of quality and work, known as varṇāśrama-dharma, is the beginning of real human life. And Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, as the protector of this system of human activities, timely retired from active life as a sannyāsi, handing over the charge of the administration to a trained prince, Mahārāja Parikshit. The scientific system of varṇāśrama-dharma divides the human life into four divisions of occupation and four orders of life. The four orders of life as brahmacārī, gṛhastha, vānaprastha, and sannyāsi are to be followed by all, irrespective of the occupational division. Modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they are old enough. But Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, as an ideal king voluntarily retired from active administrative life to prepare himself for the next life. His lifestyle must be so arranged that the last stage of life, say at least the last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord to attain the highest perfection of life. It is really foolishness to engage himself all the days of one's life in material enjoyment and fruity activities, because as long as the mind remains absorbed in fruitive work for material enjoyment, there is no chance of getting out from conditioned life or material bondage. No one should follow the suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead, to become purified of material contamination is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of the Lord. No one can become an associate of the Lord or can go back home, back to Godhead without such purification. Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, therefore, to become spiritually pure, at once gave up his royal opulence, relinquishing his royal dress and garments. The uh, kashai or saffron loincloth of a sannyasi indicates freedom from all attractive material garments, and thus he changed his dress accordingly. He became disinterested in his kingdom and family, and thus became free from all material contamination or material designation. People are generally attached to various kinds of designation. The designation of family, society, country, occupation, wealth, position, and many others. As long as one is attached to such designation, he is considered materially impure. The so-called leaders of men in the modern age are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of materially conditioned soul. One has to relinquish such designation that before one can become eligible to back to Godhead. Foolish people adore such men who die in national consciousness. But here is an example of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today because he great was a great pious king, almost on the same level with the personality of Godhead Sri Ram. And because people of the world were dominated by such pious king, they were happy in all respect, and it was quite possible for such great emperors to rule the world. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manavishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guroho Sri Yuttapadakamala Sri Gurun Vaishnavāncha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात देश तारिणे वांछा कल्पतरुभे च कृपा सिंधुभे एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. We uh, discuss shloka number 39 and 14. Prabhuji will ready to discuss. They they will tell us in nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. So we understand the importance of how the life has to be lived. In fact, when I was going through these shlokas, I remembered the shloka number 21 from the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, Yadyat acharati shreshta tat deva itara jana sayat pramanam kurute loka tat anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow. And whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. And here we had Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj, whose final acts of renunciation are being described here, which are becoming an ideal for everyone else to follow. Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj has always ruled righteously for many, many years. But then, after departure of Lord Kṛṣṇa and destruction of Yadu dynasty, he understood that the age of Kali had begun. And recognizing that dharma would decline, he renounced everything, relinquishing all material attachments, including his kingdom, wealth, identity as king as well. So, what we are trying to understand from these shlokas today is about Yudhishthira's wisdom, his detachment, his ultimate realization of the temporary nature of the material world. So, Sud Goswami ji is explaining that after ensuring that his grandson Parikshit Maharaj became the ruler of Hastinapur, he also ensured that Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, who is grandson of Lord Kṛṣṇa, is posted at Mathurā to support the King of Śūrasena. And then, once all these two important actions were done of ensuring appropriate descendants, taking care of appropriate activities, he performed the Prājāpatya yajna. And in that yajna, he placed in himself the fire for quitting household life. He relinquished all his garments, belt, ornaments, and became completely disinterested, unattached to everything. Vedic civilization is something like this: the varṇāśrama-dharma, accepting the institutions of the four varnas and the four ashramas, the social and the spiritual order. For social order, there must be brāhmaṇa, kṣatriya, vaiśya, śūdra. And for spiritual order, there must be brahmacārī, gṛhastha, vānaprastha, and sannyāsa. And this is the system. So unless we accept this institution of varṇāśrama-dharma, the humans are not considered as civilized men, the Āryas, the Āryans. The system of these four orders of life and four social orders in terms of quality and work, this varṇāśrama-dharma is the beginning of the real life. And Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, as the protector of this system of human activities, timely retired from active life as a sannyasi, handing over the charge of administration to trained prince Maharaj Parikshit. Now compare this to the modern politicians. Prabhupada ji, in his lecture, when he took this lecture on this particular topic, gives example of so many politicians of his time. He narrates how he tried to convince Mahatma Gandhi ji to give up everything and get actively involved in the preaching of Bhagavad Gita. But then he didn't agree. Similarly, he wrote so many letters to Jawaharlal Nehru ji, but still he stuck to his position as a prime minister till the last breath. In fact, in the lecture, he says that even in spite of paralysis, the politicians do not agree to leave the chair. It's as if it is a Fevicol bond. कभी टूटता नहीं है. But then, that is not what the life is meant for. Prabhupada ji clearly explains it. that we may be working as anything, as a professional person in some office or our own business. But that we do because we have to do something to live, to have livelihood. But then that is not the ultimate goal of life that is needed to maintain the body and soul together. It's not the ultimate goal. Ultimate goal of life is to realize Krishna. And for that purpose, we have to do whatever is required as per the Vedic civilization. And for that, one of the must activities is that we must retire in a timely manner. Just like Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, he was an ideal king. He voluntarily retired from active administration to prepare himself for the next life. So, excuse me, everyone's life must be so arranged that this last stage of life, at least the last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to devotional service of Lord to attain highest perfection of life. But this is where the catch-22 situation lies. Parikshit Maharaj knew that these are going to be his last 7 days of life. But for us, we don't have any such opportunity. We don't know when we are going to be leaving this body. So even if we think that we are last 15, 20 years, as Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport, we'll give up everything and live only for devotional service. But what is the starting point? Just like when Krishna's arrival was announced by the Akashvani, Kansa was made aware that the eighth child is going to kill him. But then from where does the eighth counting starts? Does it start from 4? Does it start from 0? Does it start from what? And that is why he had to kill each one of the child. Similarly, we don't know when those last 15, 20 years are. So that is why we need to use each moment as if that is going to be our last actual active moment. We must be so arranged that we are remembering Krishna and attaining the highest perfection of life. If throughout the day, throughout night, we are engaging ourselves only in material activities, fruitive activities, then it is foolishness. Because the moment the mind is absorbed in fruitive work, there is no chance of getting out from the conditioned life or material bondage. Prabhupada ji calls it a suicidal policy if someone neglects one's supreme task of attaining highest perfection of life. And what is the highest perfection? Going back home, back to Godhead. We have to be Ārya. Ārya means who are making progress under the institutions of varṇāśrama-dharma. And that progress means to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the goal. Sabka saath, sabka vikas, to achieve the ultimate goal of life. But people do not know that. And it's not that they don't know now, even earlier. Nate vidhu swartha gatim he Vishnu. You're going to be studying this shloka in the 7th canto, 5th chapter, 30 or 31st shloka. They do not know what is the ultimate goal of self-interest. And we keep on doing the same thing again and again. So retiring is very, very important. We must retire. And then, after being trained for some time, being retired from family life, living a secluded life, it cannot be actually secluded, but detached from family life at least. We have to let our elder children take care of the family. We have to travel to different places of pilgrimage. Come back, but without any attachment. We have to be like a guest in the house of children. And then, when the child is trained up, we ask our spouse to remain back, telling that the child will take care, and I'm taking sannyāsa. So everyone has to take sannyāsa. It is not that only a particular person, no. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in fact, took sannyas at such an early age because he wanted to give and set an example. Even in Buddhist philosophy, everyone has to take sannyas and live as sannyasi for some years. It is their duty. So Maharaj Parikshit is preparing himself to become a sannyasi, which means renounced, no more family responsibility or any responsibility. Simply become pure devotee of Lord. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yasa sannyasi. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita, right? No more family responsibility. This is the definition that he works, but not as the enjoyer of the fruit of the work. That is sannyas. And karmi means he's working because he wants to enjoy the benefits of his work. So Maharaj Parikshit is here setting an example for all of us to follow. We should not become a karmi. And again, accepting sannyasa should, it's not a formality. That okay, I'm taking sannyas. No, it has to be from within the heart, the deepest of the heart. That is perfect civilization. In fact, uh, in Prabhupada ji, I remembered just now, he used to say that on the currency notes, it is used to be advertised in America, in God we trust. But if someone is asked, see, this is the slogan of your state. So what do you know about God? And then nobody could reply. Everyone will say it is something like this, something like that. But no, everything vague idea. Nobody knows what is God. Neither does anyone used to know how to trust in God. But then this is something which is instructed in Bhagavad Gita. What is God? How to trust in Him? This is subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. But people don't know. They simply write the slogan, in God we trust. Nobody knows what is God. Here, Maharaj Parikshit was trained. We saw in the previous verse that he was intelligent also, experienced also. So he knew what is God. So Krishna is that supreme personality. And if we really want to be achieving Krishna prem, achieving the ultimate objective of our life, then immediately Prabhupada ji tells us something more. In fact, Prabhupada ji also quotes the 13th shloka of the second chapter of Bhagavatam. Atha pumbir dvija shrestha varṇāśrama vibhāgasha svanustishtascha dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshana. So we studied this about the varṇāśrama-dharma immediately in the second chapter of Bhagavatam. So this proves what is the importance of varṇāśrama-dharma. So we have to accept these principles of varṇāśrama-dharma and act accordingly. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives the details of what are the activities of all the varnas. But the ultimate activity, jnana, is understanding Krishna. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. So we have to understand it. We have to approach a guru to get the knowledge. And who is a guru? Anyone who knows the science of Krishna, he can become a guru. So if we are going to a guru, what does the guru do? He immediately asks us, first we have to become purified of material contamination, because that is the necessary qualification for becoming one of the associates of Krishna. You cannot become associate of Krishna and go back to Godhead without purification. And that is why Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, to become spiritually pure, gave up his royal opulence relinquished the royal dress, garments, ornaments, everything, and accepted the saffron, the kashaya varga. So what it indicates is freedom from all attractive material garments. Now, people generally are attached to designations, and this is a very serious disease in this material world. The designations in offices, in professional life, in businesses, designations of family, society, country, wealth, position. And as long as one is attached to such designations, he is materially impure. The so-called leaders in our age, they are attached by national consciousness, but they do not know that such false consciousness is also another designation of the material condition sold. And one needs to relinquish such designations before we can become eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. Foolish people, they adore such people who die in national consciousness. But here we have example of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, a royal king who prepared himself to leave this world without such national consciousness. And yet he is remembered even today as a great pious king, just like Lord Sri. And because the people were ruled by such pious kings, in those days everyone was happy in all respects, and it was possible for such people to rule the world. And today, anyone who tries, because he does not have the similar quality, falls flat on the face. You try to cross over your material borders, and you have so many wars going on across the world today. So even if you have got little attachment for material things, then we will not be allowed to get into the spiritual world. Krishna has given us freedom, little freedom, just like a child is given freedom. Naturally, out of affection. Father, mother, they give freedom, but not complete freedom, because child's freedom is nonsense. It must be protected. Similarly, all living entities who have come to this material world, they're trying to enjoy, just like a child. A child, when let free, he'll catch up something this, something that. Sometimes he'll catch that. He does not know what his real interest is. But because he's a child, he's catching this, catching that, catching that. Sometimes he catches fire, burns his hand. Sometimes he falls down in water. Sometimes he catches insects, all dangerous things, because he does not know. Similarly, in the material world, the three gunas, sattva, raja, tama guna, we are catching them just like a child. The child does not know what his real interest is, and we don't know what our real interest is. And this is the difficulty. Therefore, we are all modhas. Ideally, the real interest is to capture Krishna. And we have that power, that capacity. But only thing is, we are completely covered by the materialism and material aspects. So we don't remember these activities. Now, the shlokas make us understand this, where Yudhishthir Maharaj gives us this clear understanding that in Kali Yuga also, you should give up everything. Just like Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira is doing. He is emperor, most opulent, most exalted position, no material unhappiness, but still he is giving up voluntarily. This is civilization, not sticking to anything. He could have said, I have the emperor's power, I have got good brothers, wife, children, good influence, dress, food, everything good. Why should I give up? But then he knew what is right. And that is why he is Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. And through him, we are trying to understand that yes, we also need to follow the right path. Even the minute things, everything belongs to Krishna. We are not the proprietors. So we have to give up all kinds of controlling desires and let Krishna take care of everything for us. Thank you very much.